brave souls to the arena of intellect and passion. This is Duel of the Debates. 9 valiant fighters, both decorated champions and new challengers, will engage in epic battles of wits, defending their opinions in the realms of film and television, all for one single goal: the crown. Each week this month, they will clash over the titles of Best Living Actor, Best Living Actress, and Best Living Director, leading to the ultimate final challenge. Prepare for a spectacle like no other. Let the debates begin.
Welcome back to Duel of the Debates. We are going to kill each other, but not really, because this is a podcast and we are friends.
That's 2 weeks in a row you said we're going to kill each other. I don't know how I feel about that.
You got to watch over your shoulder, I guess. I mean, you don't know.
I can just kick you right now.
You could.
Anyway, but we're friends here. So this is Duel of the Debates. Yeah.
I'm Danny, by the way.
Yeah, I'm Dan. So we have Best Director of the 21st Century. We got 3 guests. They're here. They've all been on this show before, I think. So Sean, James, and Pooh.
No, Pooh's actually new to this show.
Pooh's new to this show. Pooh's seen it before a couple times.
Surprisingly, we were able to get like a new fighter in each of these rounds.
Yeah, no, it's very impressive.
So we'll see. You know, all the other new fighters have lost. So we'll see what you're up to, Pooh.
All right, let's hit the rules, Danny. Let's hit the rules.
The rules. Oh, fuck, I closed it.
All right.
Give me a second. Hold on.
He's going to have to do a bunch of editing here.
I got it. All right, the objective is to convince the judge, which is us, why your pick for the question is correct and the other fighters are wrong and stupid. The arguments, there needs to be an objective reasoning behind why you chose your answer. For example, John Wick is better because Keanu Reeves looks like my cool band teacher from 8th grade. Not an acceptable argument. Civility. Oh, fuck. It's civility. Although we can be passionate, there will be no sincere attacks on people's characters. We're all friends here. By sincere, I mean like genuinely, like, I hate you. You can say, oh, I hate you, but not like sincerely. Anyway, shut up. Objectivity. When deciding the winner, looking at you and me, the decision must be based on the arguments presented in the debate. Just because I'm amazing doesn't mean you can pick me, even though I'm not even in the fight anymore.
Indeed.
The times, there's a 90-second...
Whoa, I'm not prepared for 90 minutes.
Let's go.
Opening arguments, rebuttal, and closing arguments are going to be 90 seconds long per fighter, and the free-for-all section, you all could just stomp on other people's words and talk over them, and that's the fun of the podcast. So,
Indeed.
There we go.
So, without further ado,
Let's get into it.
That was cool.
trying to do that. That's just fucking rude.
I have a
I've
video.
seen it once or twice.
I have a video of you, like a close-up of you where like I say like, let's get into it, and it cuts to you for like a second, and you're just like, let's get to it.
Why'd you do that?
You're like so offended. Like,
All right,
That's his thing.
fighters. Let's talk about who you picked for directors. We're going to start with James. Who did you pick?
I picked Christopher Nolan.
What movies?
The 2 movies specifically for Nolan's I want to talk about are Interstellar and Oppenheimer.
All right, Pooh.
I picked Ryan Coogler, and the 2 movies that I'll be talking about primarily will be Black Panther and Sinners.
Ooh, New Blood. And Sean.
So I picked the great Quentin Tarantino, and the 2 movies I picked are Kill Bill and Django Unchained.
Yeah. Kill Bill 1 and 2 we're counting as one movie.
That is a
and
smart
we're just
move.
letting you do that. And Django. All right.
I mean, for what it's worth, it was one movie until, Mr. Weinstein was like, no, we can't release a 3.5-hour movie in theaters. It just won't work.
then
Fair
Endgame
point.
came out. And
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
All right. Let's get this party started. James, your opening statements are starting now.
Oh, boy.
90 seconds on the clock.
All right. Christopher Nolan is a visionary filmmaker who has had a well-established career, almost predominantly within the 21st century. Only one, maybe two movies before that. He is a filmmaker that is accessible for everybody. He takes high concept and makes it accessible and easy to watch for the standard person going to a movie. In most instances, Okay, I see that face there. Interstellar especially, I think he takes such insane concepts of black hole time travel, wormholes, and he genuinely puts it into a way that is digestible, makes you think while you're watching the movie. And then Oppenheimer, it was the phenomenon of 2023, alongside help with Barbie there. It is the second highest grossing R-rated of all time, movie of its time when it came out.
30.
It is a movie that nobody would ever think could stand a chance against anything. It is a 3-hour biopic about a scientist working on creating a nuclear bomb, but he made it into a very worldwide phenomenon that everybody had to see. It won tons of Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, which just shows the type of performances that he can get out of his actors as a director. He is just in a world of his own, proven himself time and time again.
All right. Pooh, if you're ready, you're on the clock.
Okay, Ryan Coogler. Yes, I would say the list of movies is still short, but yet he is, as we know, 39 years old. He is also a visionary director. He's coming out the gate strong with either different types of hits after hits, but I would just focus on Black Panther, which was a cultural phenomenon in the midst of the Marvel Universe, which changed the game for a lot of kids because that's kind of Ryan's style. He's doing it for the culture, which is not an easy thing to do as most black directors. So he's coming from behind. He might be the dark horse, but he is winning because he is the future of filmmaking, and a lot of people just overlook that. He's taking on something really new with the way he's going about making films. He's bringing in some fresh ideas. When you look at Sinners, which is now the movie of the day that people can't watch more than once, and it is the moment. He is the guy. And yes, I would say, too, also my two opponents here, yes, we're all great directors, but at the same time, Coogler is the future. And then when you're talking about the 21st century, it's not just today. It's going to happen tomorrow and 20 years from now.
All right. Is that it?
Yes,
That's all
sir.
you got? All right.
That's all
I
I'm
love
good.
it. Short, sweet, and to the point. Let's wait till this timer disappears. All right. There it goes. And Sean, whenever you're ready, you're on the clock.
Quentin Tarantino. We all know him. We all love him. You said in Nolan, he did most of it in the 21st century. I guess the last half of Quentin Tarantino's career was 21st century, and I think it's just getting better and better. I'm not here to talk about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I'm not here to talk about Inglourious Basterds. I'm not here to talk about Reservoir Dogs. I'm not here to talk about Pulp Fiction. But among those is Kill Bill and Django Unchained, which were well received in the box office and by critics. He's great. We all know that. Okay. Makes movies for everyone, right? So his whole objective is to make a movie for every genre, and he's doing that. He's proving that he can do everything. He doesn't just stick to one vein like overly complex space movies or black cultural movies. He does things for everyone, and he's someone that everyone can get along with in every genre, every time period. He does something for everyone, and he proves that he can do it well.
You still have 10 seconds if you want to talk anymore.
He's also handsome.
All right. Love it. And loves feet.
Yes.
So, all right. Moving on to our rebuttal round. So, whenever you're ready, James, you're on the clock.
Okay, so Quentin Tarantino, I do not think he makes movies for everybody. I think he makes movies for Quentin Tarantino fans. I think his movies are incredibly stylized. They are a genre within themselves. Yes, he does try to take different stories and put his twist on them, but they are Quentin Tarantino's movies. You either love his style or you hate his style. And there are plenty of people out there who do not like or appreciate Quentin Tarantino's style. He is very much trying to put his fetishes into his work, like we know with his feet fetish, and constantly trying to, almost seems like he's exploiting people, whether in a negative way or not. He does exploit his actors and actors. I will say it seems like it is for the mission of creating a good movie, but
It's also consensual.
It is consensual. I do agree that all the people work with him,
30.
they continue to work with him. But he uses exploitation to get what he needs out of a performance, and I just don't think it's nice, and it's something you will not see or hear from a Christopher Nolan set. I've never heard, oh, Christopher Nolan, did this crazy thing and whatever. And also, he's done one space movie, I want to say. A single space movie. Ryan Coogler, very hard to say against, but he really hasn't established himself. He's really only done franchises and pre-built stuff, plus Sinners and Fruitvale Station. But it's been a long time since Fruitvale Station.
Oh, I didn't know he did that.
Right. Moving on to Pooh. Whenever you're ready, you're on the clock.
Okay, I will start with Quentin Tarantino since he's the first one that, say, as a fan of Quentin Tarantino movies, I will also say he stands on the shoulders of giants. Everything he does is from somebody else's style. He's an art house director. We love him, yes, but without the cast and the soundtrack, Quentin Tarantino's movies fall flat. If it's not a Kurosawa he's stealing from, it'll be Sergio Leone. Those are just the masters of filmmaking, and I get it. That's his style. That's great. That's what makes him good. But lately, since we know he's at the end of his career, he's not a filmmaker of the 21st century. He's a filmmaker of the 20th century. So he's actually at the end of his career. Where we go to Nolan, who's deep into the 21st century, we giving Nolan his props, but a lot of his movies feel a little bit derivative at times. Where Interstellar, yes, it's a space epic that falls very flat because the fifth dimension is
30.
love. That's not going to cut it. That's a waste of a really good cast. But at the end of the day, yes, they're all similar, but yet Ryan is the future. He's sticking out. He's pushing the envelope.
All right. Nicely done. And now, for Mr. Sean, whenever you're ready, you're on the clock.
Okay, so to approach 2 points that you made, Paul, the future isn't what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the 21st century and the past 25 years. We're not here to talk about the next 25 years. If we were, then I wouldn't be picking Quentin Tarantino because you're right, he's at the end of his career. But for that same reason, this is why he's better than Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler is just starting. Ryan Coogler has done 3.5 movies, and 2 of them...
5.
2 of them were the Rocky movies, which would be nothing without the original Rocky movies. You can't even say Creed without Rocky. I know we're not here to talk about Creed, but I'm just throwing that out there because he's got such a limited depth. And then to talk to my friend Mr. Nolan, I've been waiting for this. You said he's easy to understand. Son, how many times have you watched Inception?
Twice.
And explain it to me. Thank you.
They go into this isn't my section.
How about this? How about
back.
No, you're right. It's my debate. How about Tenet? Same questions.
30.
Well, that.
Thank you. Yeah. Not easy
I'm not
to
here
understand.
To talk about Tenet.
So you take my man Quentin Tarantino, you put any one of his movies up against any one of y'all's movies, and I think we're gonna go with Quentin Tarantino. Now, I am a fan of Quentin Tarantino, but that aside, his movies are great. Every single one of them. When I was told to pick 2 movies, Kill Bill, The Collection, and Django Unchained, it was very hard to do with the selection of great movies that he has.
All right. This is getting spicy already, guys. So let's move into the free-for-all round, and let's fight.
I genuinely do think Christopher Nolan's films are approachable if you take the time to actually listen to the dialogue.
No ifs or buts.
No ifs or buts. Yeah, just listen to the dialogue. Just watch the movie. You can't use...
And then watch it again and watch it again.
Of paying attention to a movie for not understanding the movie. You could say the movie was boring, sure, but you can't say you didn't understand it if you weren't paying attention to the movie.
I will say Oppenheimer was boring. That's because of how long it was, but it was also the easiest to understand. Like I said, Tenet and Interstellar and Inception are so
What is confusing about
complicated.
Inception?
The,
What is confusing about it?
the ending? He spins the top. Is he alive or is he dead?
The only thing about that with the ending is he left it up to interpretation. A thing that many directors through all of history
Not Quentin Tarantino.
Not Quentin Tarantino.
Hey, he killed the shit out of Hitler in that one.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing to leave for
But
interpretation.
is Ellie still alive? So we don't know.
It's been a bit
It's
since
coming
I've
back.
seen Django, but doesn't he just walk off into the sunset?
Correct.
at the
After
end?
he murdered all of the people at the plantation and with his girl,
Even
Yeah.
Walton God.
he
Yeah, I can't.
He
argue
wrapped
with
that
killing
up.
Slave masters. I'm with
he
you.
wrapped that up.
No, yeah.
and right.
Satisfying.
So I spoke about Ryan Coogler, right? So this is a tough topic. Ryan Coogler is great at what he does, but he only does one thing. He speaks to a very underprivileged population in the movies, that hasn't gotten the love that they've had for so long, which is well deserved. But that's all he does.
Well, that's all he's done so far.
Quentin Tarantino has literally done that with the movie Django.
Well, yes.
Quentin
He's done it
Tarantino
with Django
won
but
BET awards
Yes.
for the movie Django.
He won with Django, but it wasn't because Quentin Tarantino made it. It's because the cast made it. And
Right.
it's already, like I said, he stole that idea from the spaghetti westerns. So he didn't create anything. He just rebuilt the brand with a black face.
Tell me who puts the cast together.
Casting director.
All right. Who hires the casting director?
That'd be
Quentin Tarantino.
Harvey Weinstein.
Quentin Tarantino.
That's what touched it.
We can't talk about
like,
that.
Yeah, but we can't talk about who is Harvey Weinstein and Quentin Tarantino. Those two are
Those two
married.
go
at the
hand in
hip.
hand, yeah. You can't
foot
talk about
fetish
one without
and
the other.
Harvey Weinstein go hand in hand with a Tarantino movie.
We've got no love for Harvey Weinstein.
Well, Quentin does. But yes,
He also has love for Roman Polanski.
big time.
Lots of love, including
Yeah,
Once Upon a Time in
yeah,
Hollywood.
What's wrong with Roman
he's
Polanski?
He's Hollywood. We get it.
Lots.
Oh boy.
As a person, he's Hollywood. Yes. Is he
banned from
is he
the
a master of the art? But all three of these guys are masters of the art, right? They're all filmmakers, which is great, which is rare. But yes, when you're going with Tenet and Interstellar and Oppenheimer, are they very long-winded movies that go really to places that you're like, oh yeah, this is good, and it's great for the Oscars. You'll win a lot of awards.
Exactly.
But can you rewatch those movies? No. Now you brought up Creed. I will explain something. Creed is an American franchise that hit. Why? Because that Rocky franchise is so big. Even attempt to do it takes some big cojones.
But you couldn't do it without Rocky.
Duh, you couldn't do a lot. You couldn't do any of Quentin Tarantino movies without the directors that came before him.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Not one of
specific. But you're talking directors. I'm talking movies.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yes, Quentin Tarantino.
Sylvester Stallone is the director of Rocky.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He wrote
Directed
it.
some of them.
John G. Avildsen.
Yes.
directed it. He wrote it.
He wrote it. Okay, sorry, he wrote it. But still,
so
it's his movie.
So yes, Quentin Tarantino was inspired by Kurosawa and other likes. Okay, but that's like saying that this painter was inspired by other painter. That's how we learn. That's the nature of evolution.
Like I said, he's
but
on
to
his
take,
hands on the shoulders
but
of
to
giants.
take a sequel from a movie that he didn't write and then prop it up like, oh, this is my movie Creed and this is my sequel to that movie Creed. No, both Creed
Well,
and
first-
Creed 2 are sequels to Rocky.
I'm not saying they're not.
Yes.
But yet, they still hit.
Okay, sure, yeah.
But that's why I'm not using those movies as my
Okay.
examples. That's his best work.
All right, fair.
Plus,
But
as
they
well,
hit.
you've heard of Django before, right?
Never.
Yeah.
Django is not an original story.
Not even close.
There was an actual
For what it-
series
for
of
what it's
Django.
worth.
like 60s or 70s.
Django meets the vampires.
Yeah.
I've seen it. It's
For what it's
spaghetti-
Yo,
worth. No.
legit?
Yeah.
I gotta watch that now.
Spaghetti
see?
westerns of
Yeah.
Django.
I know
are
there was an
insane.
original Django movie
Yes.
that they got.
Django's
the
in
guy,
the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I know how to spell it.
There's some wild Django movies. We get it. You're great. We know it. You're gonna do the thing. And then he always does the thing where he's got the awesome shot, and it's gonna be in IMAX. And of course, everybody's gonna bring up Dark Knight. And I say this about Dark Knight, just like I'll say it about Black Panther. Both movies are great, but both movies fall flat because the main guy died.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Neither one of them should have gotten any Oscar love because the
Say
main
that
guy
again
died.
for the people in the back.
Okay.
Black Panther was good, but it wasn't this great thing.
No,
There
it was
there are far
culturally
better,
cool.
Exactly.
But I will also say, the main guy died, so therefore it got a lot of love.
Your
And the
boy-
Same thing with Dark Knight.
I got to point out, though, I will say, when we're looking at, directors who have had to pivot their stories because an actor of theirs has died, I don't think either of them did a great job, but I would argue Christopher Nolan did a lot better with Dark Knight Rises than Coogler did with Black Panther.
Christopher
Wakanda
Nolan
Forever.
also took the
I
IP of
don't know.
Batman because Batman has
I
been
disagree with that. I
think
think
so?
I think Black Panther. I think Black Panther, Wakanda Forever was better than Black Panther.
Okay, that's a bold take. I think
mean-
Wakanda Forever is incredibly forgetful, uneventful, not memorable in any way.
Okay.
Dark Knight Rises, I did not love at all. It's one of my least favorite Nolan films. But at least it made me feel something. It made me feel a little annoyed and pissed off
But
at
Black
times.
Panther, Wakanda Forever didn't.
It
That
made me...
intro, they honor Chadwick. It's a funeral.
Or at the very
Yes.
end,
Yeah.
the very end when we see spoiler,
Yeah.
the kid.
Well,
You didn't feel
again,
nothing there.
That is because we're talking about a real-life actor who has passed away, which we
And the
just
character,
said...
and the character that is now cast in the movie.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people, including Chadwick Boseman himself, disagreed with the choice to do. They thought T'Challa should have been recast.
Well,
And I
I'm
think
sure
a
he'd
lot of
have
people
different
still agree
opinion
with
about it now
And he
that he's
probably
dead.
will. And he probably will be recast in Black Panther 3. And think about this. Ryan
knew he
Coogler's
was
got so
dying.
much love. He brought Denzel Washington to the Marvel Universe. Denzel Washington's in the next movie. That's confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh, I was
scary
trying to say,
stuff.
like, I don't.
How's that going to hit? We don't know. I hope it's good.
We'll see.
But once again, yes.
Can
I'll
you
talk
tell
about the
me
future, guys.
anything that Namor did in that movie?
He flew.
But that's the thing. Ryan Coogler took...
But he
flew and he
He's the
killed
first
Angela
mutant.
Bassett.
He's
He
the
took
first mutant.
Marvel's
And-
first superhero ever, and he did nothing.
Well, no, that's not true. I think he showed a lot of love to the Native American community, and it
Boom.
brought something. Because what Coogler's doing, yes, people say, well, he's got to play the cultural game because it's Hollywood. He's got to play the cultural game. He's not a cool white guy like Tarantino or a really smart white guy like Nolan. He's the black kid from the inner city who's making films and standing with you guys and making that paper because that's at the end of the day, that's what it's about. You have $1 billion movie in Black Panther, and it's like, oh, this dude who made Fruitvale Station, which is a true story, and it's a horrible story. It's a horrible movie to watch sometimes, but it's real. Yes. Is it rough? But it had to. Those type of movies have to be made for a lot of guys who look like me to get through the door. And he got through the door, and now he's kicking in the door. And as I said before, it's like at the end of the day, what Coogler's trying to bring to the table, he has to do these first to get to where he wants to go. And that's unfortunate, but that's the road a lot of black filmmakers and creators have to take. Spike Lee, we love him, but at the end of the day, Spike Lee has always had to make that to the culture because that's the only thing Hollywood allow him to do. Because when he steps out of his realm, they're like, oh, we don't like that. You should be doing a black film. And it's like, what? He did 25th Hour, which is with Ed Norton. I mean, I'm talking about him for a second because that movie was great. It's a great film. But everybody was like, "Oh, well, we liked it, but we know him for the black film, so he should make a black film." And
But
that's
I
how you
think
get caught.
I think that's exactly what I'm trying to say that he should be avoiding, right? By building yourself up to be the black director, and I hate saying that, but I mean, if you look at what he's been doing, that's what he's doing.
Sometimes you got to play the cards that you're dealt.
I mean,
that's the cards he's dealt.
But
at 39,
But even better, wouldn't it be even better for him right when he's like an emerging artist, an emerging director, to quick sidestep and prove that he can do more than that?
that's why he made Sinners.
Well, yeah,
Sinners
but
is great.
Sinners
is in a
literally-
black film.
No, it's literally about the culture. Like you said, it's the same thing.
A time.
It
it's a
fits in the
vampire
same
movie
vein.
that's set in a certain time.
Okay.
Just like, and if you want to use that, we can use the same analogy with Dusk Till Dawn. They're very similar in movie making, right? The storyline's the same, but it's set in
It's
a
the
time.
same genre,
It's the same
yes.
genre because it's what? It's a heist movie that's actually a vampire movie.
Okay.
And at the same time, yes, it's two white dudes on the run, but they're going against Mexican vampires. We happen to have Irish vampires with a bunch of black people. That's the only difference.
Yeah, but
But what?
No, it's
hey,
still-
Selma Hayek makes that movie.
Well,
Chef's
yeah.
kiss. But at the end of the day,
okay.
it's
So
Mexican
keep
vampires.
talking about Quentin Tarantino and how great he is. Yes,
I'm not
keep,
talking about how
keep
great he
talking
is. I'm
about
talking
it.
about
He
that.
only wrote that movie. This is director.
All right,
Yeah,
right.
he wrote that. Robert Rodriguez killed
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you say, well, it's a black movie. It's not.
I disagree.
It's black people.
Wholeheartedly,
So
I
you're trying to
disagree.
say if you have more than 10 black people in the cast, it's a black movie.
I didn't say that.
This
I didn't
is
say that.
it's incredibly
Nolan's
hard
movies are all
to
white
be
people.
Yes.
a white man saying this.
Exactly.
But the movie is about a black juke joint because they were not invited to the white juke joints that were around where, you know, they needed a place for themselves and for their community to come together. I think the movie is heavily ingrained in being a black cultural movie.
Yes. It's heavily ingrained in
black culture Mississippi.
But it's the Jim Crow South, but it's a vampire film with a badass Irish vampire who actually isn't the villain.
Yeah, but you know what I say? Because again, I just watched this last night, and I had to think to myself, where in this movie did what was his name, Remick? When did he become Irish? Because the first time we saw him and he showed up on the people's like front door, and he was like the Comanches are chasing me or whatever. He was not Irish. He wasn't Irish until he showed up with his fiddle and he started doing a little jig. And I'm like, bro, that felt like a half-baked idea, because I think Ryan Coogler recognized, and this is purely speculation, he recognized that, I need to have something more than just like the black vote here. So let me throw in the Irish people, because the Irish people are very much
watch the movie
treated
again,
the same.
And you'll realize when Remick starts telling his story, he explains the fact that he came from Ireland to America.
But he doesn't talk about that until he's sitting on the little bench.
But you don't get that moment because he's on the run. He's hiding. He had to code switch every time he moved around because he was a vampire. When he walks in that house, he sees the Klan robe, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta get in good with them because these guys are gonna kill me."
Yes.
So he's running for his life. So if anything, it's the underdog story of a Irish vampire coming into America trying to find his way. So when he finds those black people, what does he say? "Oh, I can make us a better community. I can make you free." That's the sell. That's what he was selling them. That's why you get the music, and everybody now is doing Irish jigs at black events, which is badass. But
I'd like to step in at this point to highlight how a lot of the back and forth has been between Ryan Coogler and Quentin Tarantino trying to defend yourselves. And I like to think it's because it's known Christopher Nolan is in a tier of his own.
I don't think I was defending anything.
Well loved by everybody. And I just want to bring out two polls that have come out in the last week. That they're the same poll, but different sides of it. The New York Times Best Movies of the 21st Century poll just came out last week. Christopher Nolan has 5 movies in the top 100 of this century. Quentin only has 3. Coogler has 1. And then there was a reader's poll, a fan-submitted poll of the same exact thing for New York Times top 500 movies of the century. Christopher Nolan has 10 out of 11 movies that he's made in this century. Quentin Tarantino has 6. Coogler has 3.
Interesting. Danny, were either of you involved in those polls?
No, what?
Then it doesn't really matter for our purposes today, does it?
I'm just saying, they have mass
quantity.
fan
We're taking
appeal.
a new poll.
Yes.
We're taking a new poll
Christopher
today.
Nolan has mass fan appeal.
Quantity over quality.
I think Christopher Nolan is just more recognizable.
He's made a lot of movies.
I'm sorry, do you think he's more recognizable than Quentin Tarantino?
Yes.
That's one of
Yes, now
the
he is.
biggest
Now he
names
is, yeah.
To
in
us,
Hollywood.
to us maybe, but people that are maybe 18 or 19, Quentin Tarantino who?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the guy who made Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which again is not even one of his strongest movies. When you say Christopher Nolan, everyone thinks Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks
you think an 18-year-old right now gives a shit about The Dark Knight?
Yes.
Yes.
So again, to throw it in,
it's the best Batman
to throw
movie.
polls,
We'll say that, but
to throw polls out into this, the Shaker High School film criticism class every year does a bracket of best movies ever, and every single year Dark Knight Rises makes it to the finals.
You mean
The Dark Knight? Yes, every single year, along with things like.
Thank you for helping.
Well, no, but you didn't pick that movie. You said you didn't like that.
No,
movie.
I didn't, because I don't think that is nearly his strongest movie.
His strongest movie is Memento, but I mean, it's not 21st century.
I think it was 2000 straight up.
It was
Memento.
2000? Okay, I thought it was 99. All right, whatever. But like I said, yes, we look at Oppenheimer and say, good movie, great for the award show, not rewatchable. And rewatchability is what the fans.
It's too
go
long.
for.
Nobody's going to sit down and go through
I've
that
seen
again.
it 3 times since it came out.
Well,
I own it at home.
It seems
watched
like,
it by
James,
yourself.
you might be a
watched it with
simp
no-
for Christopher Nolan.
Hence why I picked him in this debate.
Understandably.
He is quite a great
nobody
director.
else.
Nobody else is doing
Nobody
that.
else is doing that. Nobody else is going to rewatch Oppenheimer because I have to.
No.
I didn't even want to
And my
watch
coworker just rewatched it this past week, and
it. I didn't even want to watch it. I watched it literally because everyone else did. I didn't watch it because I was interested in it. I watched it. Same
it was
reason
so-
why I
I
watched
saw
Sinners
it twice in
I
theaters
watched it
in 2 weeks.
to see if it really lives up to the hype.
Yeah,
and I
Rod-
think in both situations, actually, I think Oppenheimer almost lived up to the hype. Actually, no, I think they both almost lived up to the hype. But I don't think either one of those movies are as great, as super as everyone is saying they are. I think unfortunately it was the time that they came out. What was its competition? What was in theaters when Sinners came out?
Sinners came out at a poor time in general.
And the only thing Oppenheimer had against it was Barbie.
And
which it did fantastic numbers against.
For
it is an
Mattel.
R-rated
It
movie.
did great numbers for Mattel.
Yeah, Barbie, sure, but Oppenheimer is
Sure,
an
but-
R-rated movie that grossed over or just under $1 billion.
you see Florence Pugh titties a few times, and it's an R-rated movie. I mean, come on, bro.
They say fuck at least twice.
I mean, it would have been a more interesting movie if it was about, Albert Einstein.
No, it would have been a more interesting movie if they cut out.
All right, so we've
1
talked
hour.
a lot about
Cut out 1 hour.
Oppenheimer.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit more about Kill Bill.
Yeah, I want to hear
Yeah,
more Kill Bill
great.
stuff.
Tell me what's wrong with Kill Bill. I'd love to hear it.
Outside of it being a Kurosawa movie, it is a good movie.
It's not a Kurosawa movie.
It is
he,
so a
he was inspired by Kurosawa. Yes, it's a homage to him, to all of the kung fu movies.
It's a great
because Quentin Tarantino wants to pay homage to every great filmmaker in every genre,
I get,
and this
but-
was his to Kurosawa.
And that's the only thing he knows how to do. But at the same time,
the only thing he knows how to do. He's done 10
Built off
different
of
things.
the work of others.
Yes.
But
He's deep throating everybody.
movie
who came
making,
before him.
movie making is that. Movie
Well,
making
not all
is
movie
building
making.
off of others.
Not all movie
Not
making.
one single movie ever is an original idea. Give
I'm
me
not
one.
saying it is, but every
Yes,
single Quentin Tarantino movie
is an art house film.
is
Have
just
done.
filled with homages and references to other classic Hollywood.
It
You
is
don't see that at
NYU
Christopher
Class
Nolan movies.
101.
Obviously, there's inspiration and influence there in his movies, but it's not clearly I am taking this and making it my own and like reappropriating
Right.
it.
But
It is
Christopher
Using
Nolan-
shots from other people.
Christopher
over
Nolan
and
doesn't
over
do
and
that
over.
either. Christopher Nolan only does what he's good at, which is to make these really complicated, hard to understand movies.
Okay, but we've
that's
seen the
only
Batman
thing.
trilogy.
He's doing
That's
one
hard,
thing.
difficult,
Well,
He's
that's
doing
also
one
Michael Mann.
understand.
Heat, and he said that he took that straight from Heat.
Did you know that Val Kilmer, when he does the mag,
Yeah.
that's like the what is Aragorn kicking the helmet thing.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
This guy over here to distract us.
I want to hear more about Interstellar.
Interstellar.
I don't.
What would you like to hear about it?
Definitely.
It's a
We haven't
fantastic
talked
movie.
about it.
What are the arguments? We just haven't heard much about it.
It's a fantastic movie
The
that
fifth dimension is love. I mean,
That's
that's the whole movie, bro.
It takes
Ooh, the dust is on us.
this insane
Wait, the
concept
bookcase.
of
The bookcase is moving.
it takes this high concept of it visualizing a fifth dimension and representing it in ways that we can see and visualize in a three-dimensional world. That's something that's not been done in
And it's a
cinema
waste
before.
of a really good cast. There's a lot of money wasted to say,
Hard
What?
disagree. Matthew
what?
McConaughey brings a performance of a lifetime in that. Still talked about to this day, where the scene where he's reliving 23 years of his children's life in the matter of 10 minutes. That scene is talked about all the time as
They
a
don't
powerhouse.
even stream that.
Because it's talked about because nobody understands it.
And
How do you
it's
not
Christopher
understand?
Nolan.
They explain quite clearly every hour on this planet takes 7 years of time on Earth. And because of that, they messed up their mission on the planet. They lose 23 years of their life because they messed up and had to spend more time that they were trying to save as much as possible. And they have to live with their consequences.
Let me
of-
hit you with a Danny Wass quote.
Yeah.
Shout out to our judge, Danny Wass.
Trying to butter me up.
What I might butcher it, but it is what movies are supposed to be like. You're not supposed to understand everything. You're just supposed to appreciate it. But then why do we spend so much time explaining it? If Inception and Tenet and Interstellar are such grandiose ideas that, we don't have to understand them, we're just supposed to appreciate it, then why do we spend 2.5 hours or 3.5 hours trying to explain it to the movie viewers
Inception,
at home
I don't think-
that still don't understand it?
Inception does not take any time after the last hour, I think, to re-explain its concept. It's established by that point. You're
So
in it. It's
after
just
its last
going
hour,
from
so
there.
it spends an entire hour explaining it.
That is called the beginning of any movie, is set up and preposition and
Hold on, we have to go deeper.
Yeah, we do. We have
need
to
to
go
fold
another
space
level
and time
deeper.
and have a bunch of students talk about it on years and years and years, but the average fan who walks in the door and spends that $15 is like
The
this
person
was
who wants to
cool.
eat popcorn and watch a movie. You're
You're here
on.
to be entertained.
Yes.
Not to be, I need to be in deep thought. And
Like,
understand
it's
this
great
movie.
to do that every once in a
Like,
while.
take an
right?
edible and go see a Christopher Nolan movie and you'll be okay. But if you don't, you're done. Say, like I said.
I would say Inception came out in 2012.
And we still don't understand.
I was 13 years old when it came out. I saw it in theaters. I loved it. I appreciated it. I understood. I didn't think it was difficult to understand.
As a parent, that's child abuse.
That movie set up, like, it was such a cultural phenomenon. I know lucid dreaming became the big topic at that time. Like, oh my God, it's a possible thing you can do. I learned how to do it thanks to Christopher Nolan and Inception. Like, I mean, I can't do it at work.
I was gonna say, like, the fuck. Like,
Yeah, like
but-
I've done it like a couple times.
Really?
Lucid
That's
dreaming.
actually super.
Yeah,
Take
we're
acid
getting
or
off topic
something, I
here,
don't know.
guys.
DMT over here. I don't know what's going on, bro.
James.
All right.
Yeah.
We went off the rails.
We're going to go to closing arguments now, actually, guys. So we're not going to get into lucid fucking dreaming right now. James, you can talk about it in your closing arguments because you're starting. So whenever you're ready, you're on the clock.
Well, thank God, because I just remembered a big point that I forgot to bring up was Christopher Nolan's use of music in movies is just phenomenal. Especially Oppenheimer is a big point of that, and I want to attest that Ryan Coogler's work with Ludwig Göransson is top-notch in Sinners, but also top-notch in Oppenheimer. That soundtrack alone became synonymous with the movie. You could hear the soundtrack going and you knew that is Oppenheimer. You hear the soundtrack to Interstellar, you hear the docking sequence going on from Hans Zimmer, you know that that is Christopher Nolan's Interstellar. He marries music into his movies in a beautiful way. He makes films that are beloved and a icon at their time, forever ingrained in the moment they came out. The definition of contemporary for their time. He is constantly reinventing himself, trying to step onto the next thing. The only exception being his Batman series, himself not even wanting to do the third one. He probably shouldn't have.
30.
But Christopher Nolan just takes the bar, sets it, and then tries to get above it again the next time. He's constantly trying to better himself, take it to the next level. And I feel Quentin Tarantino is just reiterating the same things, just taking other people's works and putting his style on it. And Ryan Coogler is just, he's not established enough. He is still so new to be able to say he is that fantastic.
All right, moving on to Ryan Coogler. Pooh, whenever you're ready, you're on the clock.
All right, yes. Is Ryan Coogler the babe in the woods on this level? Yes, because he's only got 5 movies under his belt. But those 5 movies all hit different areas of filmmaking. Has he done the independent? Yes, with Fruitvale Station. Has he hit us with, an already known IP that's big in Americana in Creed? We got that. It hit. It could have fallen. It could have been a flop, but it wasn't. It's a banger. Okay, and then when you go into the Marvel Universe, of course, it's the 21st century. Everything's a freaking superhero movie these days. And what did he do? He took a not as well-known superhero and made him the face. Marvel wanted to make Chadwick the face. Black Panther was supposed to bring that whole thing to the next generation. Unfortunately, he died. But so now he has to pivot. He's doing the shows. He's doing this thing. But at the same time, he hits us with, okay, yes, I've given you the Marvel thing, and he's still doing Marvel shows. Ironheart just dropped. It's got decent reviews. It's going well. But at the same time, he hit you with Sinners. Sinners is the movie of the day. People can say what they want, but at the end of the day, Sinners has now set the mark. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Now he's giving us highbrow cinema. He's giving us something that all different groups can look at, with the music involved, with the score, and of course the great score from Black Panther that won doggone Grammys. But at the same time, we have Quentin Tarantino, who's great at putting music in any film. You know a Tarantino film. Same thing with Nolan. We know a Nolan film. But right now, you're going to know a Ryan Coogler film.
All right. Sean, moving on to Tarantino. Whenever you're ready, you're on the clock.
Thank you, Paul, for acknowledging how great Quentin Tarantino is at music, because I don't have to waste my time saying that it's better than Christopher Nolan. I mean, does Christopher Nolan have as many great vinyl records?
Does he have needle drops in every movie?
What is that even supposed to mean?
Christopher Nolan doesn't use needle drops.
Okay.
Tarantino does all the time.
I mean, maybe in Pulp Fiction.
Django uses needle drops.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Everything-
Anyways, Quentin Tarantino is the only one here who has done more than one thing. Like I said 3 times now, Christopher Nolan stays to his vein, which is the overly complicated. I can't understand it, but let's try to explain it. Ryan Coogler, we hope, will step out and branch out and do more things. But as far as I can see, he's only doing one thing these days. Granted, the past few ones have been superb, but I mean, a great artist does more than one thing over and over again. And Quentin Tarantino has proved that he's done different things. Every genre, every movie he does is different than the last movie. Yes, you want to say he's building off the backs of other people, but he's inspired by other people. He's not making anything that Kurosawa made, and he's not making anything. He's not retelling the stories of people, I guess. Django may be an exception, but every story is original. He even rewrites World War II and kills Hitler. He rewrites everything. He does it himself, and he does it his way.
I'm going to let you keep going a little more since you got distracted there.
Also, he likes feet, and he's handsome.
Before the timer went out.
I think the handsome thing's just a lie.
We're gonna go.
That's definitely a
We're
lie.
gonna go deliberate, and we will be back.
This is the hardest decision that we've had to make so far.
Oh my
I'm not
God.
sure about you because you were
Oh my
always a
God.
judge. And I want to be known, Tarantino is my favorite director. But I have to say, I think Tarantino's out of this one.
Wow.
Let's read out the points.
Okay.
Wow.
Started to bury the lead there.
I quit.
So, okay, I guess let's start out with Tarantino. Sean, there's a lot of things that you just didn't say that would have been great prose. Everyone said that he's inspired by other people. He's not imitating, so I agree with that.
Yeah.
But you didn't say anything about how his dialogue is what makes it a Tarantino movie. You know what I mean?
I had an argument for that.
He said,
It relies on shock value.
I would probably.
Let's just say the
also liked
N-word
what you
isn't.
said.
he loves the N-word.
But
Thank
Sean,
you.
I liked
Thank
what you
you.
said about the inspiration is the process of evolution with Polanski and Kurosawa. Because, you're not going to be able to make good movies unless you do,
You guys are just
honor
trying
the
to butter me up.
past in ways. So I
feel
do
bad.
like that.
You already know you're wrong.
Scorsese would disagree.
You would have picked him.
But, he reiterates himself in every movie. He makes movies only for him and his fans. He introduces some weird shit like fetishes in it. He takes from other artists, and he's at the end of his career.
Now let's move to someone who's in the beginning of his career.
So we got Coogler. He's young, and he's well known already. Culturally, he made a cultural phenomenon with Black Panther, and even made it the main attraction for the MCU. He has a long career ahead of him, and right now he has the best movie of the year with Sinners.
You got to build yourself up before you can start making movies like Sinners, though. As you said, I liked
Right.
that.
He may be boxed into the black film kind of area,
Right now, at 39, yeah.
but despite being in that box, with Sinners specifically, he was able to break out in a lot of ways to a lot of other audiences. But he's really only speaking to that one audience. He might be speaking authentically, but it's not. He doesn't have the numbers with the amount of people watching, and he hasn't established himself too much outside of franchises. Other than Sinners and Fruitvale, not much to say. He makes important movies, not the greatest movies of all time per se.
Moving on to Nolan.
So now we got Nolan. Predominantly in the 21st century, he is accessible for everyone, for especially high concept stories, and he even visualized high concept, even just understanding what they are, like The Fifth Dimension.
But
It's love.
some of these movies are not rewatchable, like Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
I will say that.
And Interstellar.
Too long-winded.
It is a burden of timing with Barbenheimer. I think it would not have made as much money if it came out any other time.
Exactly.
Yeah, Barbie definitely helped out Oppenheimer.
Yes.
And we get it, IMAX. We get it, Nolan. It's a lot of telling, not a lot of showing, which is kind of the cardinal rule in movies.
Yes.
But then we also have to look at, Nolan has the numbers on everybody.
Yeah, he's got
He has the numbers. He has the fan base, the use of music in his movies. He has all the things you want in a movie.
Yeah, and you may have to pay attention to everything that he's doing in it. And if somebody's just said one thing, I think this fight might have gone a little differently. But yeah, I think we're gonna go with Nolan on this one.
Going with Nolan. Nolan. It is a very hard one to beat.
It would have
He's
been
got
even
the numbers. He's got everything.
I think if somebody said that the sound mix with Nolan movies is fucked up all the time, that would have
Because
kind of put it over the edge. But nobody said it, so
I'd like to appreciate that it's a realistic sound design.
I don't know.
Because you don't
It's
hear
not
everything perfectly. It's not like we're all talking on studio microphones in every single conversation we're having in life. Life is messy. Dialogue gets messy.
I don't know how when we're talking sound that Christopher Nolan is the winner here. I mean, Ryan Coogler, I think, would be the winner as sound design. Especially look at Sinners.
that's what I'm saying.
That's what
But
I'm saying.
nobody
That's what we're
said.
saying.
You guys didn't
Yes.
say that Nolan movies have bad sound mixing.
But I could argue.
But then again, I can't.
could,
Say,
yeah, that's
I
fine.
can't say that because I'm definitely.
But alas, James is moving on and is one step closer to the
As
crown.
much.
Our finals episode will be next week with Sydney, John, and James with the best movie of the 21st century. So,
Is he gonna pick
Ryan
Interstellar?
Oppenheimer.
anyway,
Sinners.
That'd be funny. If
Anyway, so we're Duel of the Debates. I'm Dan. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with @Duel of the Debates.
I'm Danny. You can find me on Instagram at Danny_Was, my letterbox and serialized at DJ Was, or my YouTube channel, which is just Danny Was.
Who wants to plug their social media?
guys.
Anybody? Anybody at all?
Okay.
Okay, Sean.
At
Sean,
Main Men Podcast.
Find me at Main Men Podcast. Me and my brother do some cool stuff. We
Yeah, you
do
played
a lot
in
of
Baldur's Gate
Yeah, Baldur's
recently.
Gate, baby. We're chopping our way through. Jeez Louise.
Act 2 still, right?
No, dog.
Oh, Act 3, baby?
Yeah.
All
Check us
right.
out at Main Men
3 is where-
Podcast, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, and other likes.
All right, we love it.
you can find me on Letterboxd at James81XA.
And who?
Oh, you can find me in Instagram, Pooh130. I might let you in, I might not.
Oh, all right. You got to go behind the
Very
paywall.
exclusive.
Anyway.
Gotta pay more.
All right. Until we see you next time in the finals, we'll see you next time.